In New York, I've had bad situations with cops. That was the first time. Living in the Bay most of my life, I've always seen police as an entity that would be helpful.
Right, so that means you was over here. You was on this hand.
I was over here.
Yeah.
I get to New York, and I start getting disrespected by police officers for no reason.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's disrespect. Imagine if it was oppressing. You know what I'm saying?
But isn't disrespect a form of oppression?
Yeah, but it's different. I mean, that's probably like the more lighter side of
course. Well, for example, I remember when I got arrested for having a suspended license.
But you got people doing life for police planting shit on them.
I have not had anything regardless, even remotely close to that. But I remember I got arrested this one time in Manhattan for driving with a suspended license. Police asked me to get out of the car. I said, no problem. And these dudes just slammed me against my fucking car. And I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
And he was like, well, we don't know what you have. And it's like, yo, I've been polite the whole time.
Right.
I've been respectful the whole time.
Imagine if you had that experience throughout your whole life.
Yeah.
Well, how would you look at the police?
Very different.
Well, imagine if your brother got killed by police. Or imagine if your father was killed by police. Like, how would you look at police?
You would hate him.
Right. So, but you never experienced that, so you're not going to feel that. You know what I mean? You're going to look at police like, okay, they're here to protect us.
Right.
But how about these group of people that have never been felt like they've been protected by the police? They felt like actually they've been hunted by the police. You know what I'm saying? So what was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just,
Yeah. Hopefully there'll be a better system at some point. Hopefully there'll be more training. Hopefully there'll be more.
Probably not.
No?
We're probably fucked.
Do you feel that body cams have made a difference?
What?
Body cams.
No.
No?
I mean, it made a difference in terms of like the, what they can do now. But then now, it still isn't addressing the issue. You know what I'm saying? It's now you're just taking something away, but the issue is still like getting bigger now. So, it's
well, I think it just comes down to to just human behavior, right? You give someone a gun and a badge, a bulletproof vest, and a lack of accountability for what they do, a lot of humans will take advantage of that.
Right. But
people are naturally, if you have an opportunity, if you give this large group of people an opportunity to bully people,
they're going to do it. Police are game.
And they're protecting each other. Right, they know that their homies are going to stand up for them and say nothing happened. You have there's a term, absolute power, corrupts absolutely. So you're giving people a whole lot of power that a lot of times don't deserve it, that haven't earned that power.
Right.
Like I remember, one of my bad experiences in Brooklyn was I had this car that had it was like I was donating the car to charity, but they had not taken the license plate. So I'm like, I went to the police, precinct. I say, hey, listen, I donated my car and I just want to give you the license plate because they forgot to pick it up. And he's like, well, why don't they have a license plate? What, are you fucking stupid? And I'm like, oh shit. Like, this has never happened to me before.
I'm not even the complexion for this.
I'm like, this fat middle-aged white dude just called me fucking stupid. And I'm just coming here really just doing the right thing, right? I'm just making sure that this car is not, because my thing is like, I just don't want to, I want to make sure the car is not going to be, end up being stolen. You know what I mean? Like report is stolen. So I'm just trying to protect this organization. He's like, what are you, fucking stupid? Why don't you just give it to him? And I'm like,
right.
I was like, yo.
They be having the worst attitudes because they feel like they empower. Like they feel like they have
they
that power.
can, and I like, listen.
But listen, here's the thing. But that's just not police. People do that. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think a man without a badge would have said that to me. I felt going to DMV, I would not be talked to that way. I would not be talked to that way in the DMV.
The DMV people, they don't really have like power like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, what I say what I say is, when you look at when we're gonna bring it to prison, right?
Okay.
Prison is an environment within an environment, right? Like a society within a society, right? So in this small society is actually the same functioning things in the big society is in the small society, just in the lower scale, right? So now here in one part you have the correctional officers, right? And then the next tier is you have the tough guys, like the people that, you know, the guys that have gang affiliation. They're prisoners, but they're
a certain type of prison.
Yeah, they're on a higher food chain of the prisoners, right? And then you have the lower food chain of the prisoners, right? The higher food chain of the prisoners are always gonna oppress the lower part, the lower of the food chain. It's just how we are as people, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just oppression differently. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how prisoners oppressed is gonna be different. How, like, you know, people, different type of people, like more rich people, more, but it's still, there's still that form of like, you know, it's still that thinking. It's just gonna be done differently.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was an interesting moment because I was like, yo, this dude called me fucking stupid.
Right. You
and
you ain't like
physically
that.
this is a fat
You
out
would
of
have beat
shape
his
dude.
ass. You think you would have beat his ass?
I would have confronted him.
Right.
Absolutely. It really be like, listen, because I'm 6'2", whatever. I was 220 back then. Like, I'm not.
Right.
You know
ain't
what
no
I mean?
little guy.
I don't get into fights, but I'm not a punk. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
At the end of the
You
day,
ain't no
I've
little
gotten
guy.
to my share of scraps, you know? And I'm like, and if you know me, I'm confrontational with people. Like, you know what I mean? If I feel disrespected, I'll confront you about that. I'm not going to start punching you, but I will confront you man to man about the shit. I've done that. This is why Vlad TV is where it is, because I'm not scared to confront people. I'm not scared of people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to back down from people, period.
Right.
So
you gotta make sure you have some security in that bitch.
security or not, like, if I feel disrespected, I'm going to confront that person.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, like, he would not say that to me without that gun on his hip, without that gun, and being in the precinct when he feels I'm in his house. He just, man to man, in a one-on-one fight, I would probably beat his ass.
Right.
And he knows it.
Right.
But he's only saying it because he's got a badge and a gun, and he knows that if I confront him, they'll arrest me and throw me in the back.
Right. So
he could say whatever he wants to me. The worst I could do is complain to the sergeant, who probably won't give a shit.
Right.
Which I'm not, which I didn't do.
Right.
I could be a Karen, I guess, but like, no one fucking cares that, someone called me an idiot, whatever. Like, they're like, whatever, we're busy today. So it creates this really foul kind of, just an unneeded animosity. And look, if I was a different person, someone would have been like, he could have just gotten punched in the face. Like, fuck it.
Right.
Arrest me.
It could have been a lot worse, Vlad.
Listen, what I was going through was very light. Getting slammed against the car, getting insulted, do a couple days in the precinct or central booking.
Did you feel like your life was in danger at any one of those times?
No.
Right.
No. Not at all. I just felt disrespected and abused.
Yeah.
And the ego was kicking in.
Right.
It was like, how are you going to do this to me?
Right.
Fuck y'all.
Right.